Welcome back to another STEAM experiment with Lydia. Now, we've tried it all. Flushing ice cubes down the toilet, putting silverware under our pillows, and even wearing our pajamas inside out and backwards. Today, we're introducing another ritual, snowflake crystals, to help bring about another snow day. Once we make our snowflake crystals, we'll need to hang them in our windows to activate their powers. But before we get into all of that, what are snowflake crystals and how do we make them? Our snowflake crystals will start as supersaturated solutions that will then undergo the process of crystallization. Supersaturated solutions are just like they sound. They are oversaturated with whatever solute you choose. Have you ever tried to dissolve sugar in cold water? It would take a long time to dissolve your sugar. But if you dissolve sugar in warm water, the sugar dissolves very quickly. Not only that, but you can actually dissolve more sugar in hot water than you can in cold or room temperature water. This is because water can be supersaturated with sugar, or whatever solute you have, at a higher temperature. While our experiment today uses borax instead of sugar, this property of water is key for crystallization. Speaking of crystallization, it's a two-step process. The first is nucleation, which is when the crystalline phase first appears. Nucleation can happen in a variety of ways, spontaneously, through vibrations, or even from small particles. Think about nucleation as a tiny point where all the other crystals can attach to. In our experiment, we will encourage the process of nucleation through the tons of fuzzy fibers found on pipe cleaners. This brings us to the second step of crystallization, crystal growth. Once the particles in our solution start building crystals on the molecular level, they can create the larger crystals we recognize. There are two important parts of this step. One is to leave the crystals alone. Remember, even vibrations can spark a nucleation site. To prevent crystal growth on sites other than your snowflake, keep movement of the container to a minimum. The other important part is to allow the solution to cool slowly. The water cannot hold all the extra solute, or borax, in your supersaturated solution as it cools. So this extra solute will precipitate out, or return back to a solid. When the solute precipitates out at a slower rate, you get bigger and better crystals. As always, the list of materials you need and the science explanation can be found in the description box below. Now, let's go make our snowflake crystals.
The first step is to create our snowflake. Fold, then cut your pipe cleaner into thirds. Twist the middles together to create 6 arms. Then, cut 6 smaller bits from a second pipe cleaner to twist onto the ends of each arm. This completes your basic snowflake design. Next, tie a ribbon or string around the center of the snowflake. Make sure it's long enough to submerge your snowflake in the borax solution, but short enough so the snowflake doesn't touch the bottom of the glass jar or the sides. As you can see, I had to adjust my knot to satisfy those requirements. The third step is to make your supersaturated borax solution. Dissolve 3 tablespoons of borax for every 1 cup of boiling water. Here, my measuring cup is already filled with 2 cups of boiling water, so I added 6 tablespoons of borax. Mix until the borax dissolves. With your snowflake suspended in your jar, fill the jar with borax solution. Make sure your snowflake is fully submerged in solution but is not touching the sides or the bottom of your jar. Once your crystals have grown to its desired size, remove the snowflakes from the jar and dry them on a paper towel. Once dry, hang your snowflake crystals from your window to help bring on the snow. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below to tell me how your experiment went. Hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell so you don't miss another video from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!